Yeah. So yeah, I guess we can just wait for a couple of yeah. Yeah. So I guess yeah, we can get started with the session. Yeah. So I see that there are what front-end projects are worth adding in resume to get shortlisted by FANG companies. Yeah. So there is a section called resume building. So in that section itself, I'll be answering your question, Ashwin. Uh, just let me allow this. Good at DSA, but your Ritik, just let me answer your question once. So if you are good at DSA, but your projects are not good enough in your resume, does it affect me to? Yeah, we'll discuss that question in the resume building session. So how projects actually impact your hiring and what are the projects that you need to do. You know. So yeah, without I guess there are a lot of folks who are. So without a further ado, we can get started with our session. Yeah. Yeah. So let's start the session. We can go. Yeah. So today I will be discussing about all the strategies how to track your data structures and algorithms interview, which is quite popular and which is also asked by most of the product-based companies, Facebook, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and also there are some other companies which are not famous, but they will be paying a lot, such as the eShop, Sprinkler, Coordination, and so on. Yeah. So yeah. So before starting the session, let me introduce about myself to you. So yeah, my name is Shivasai Pashan, and I'm currently working as an SD1 at Amazon Hyderabad. So previously, I have also worked as an SD intern at Amazon during my last semester of the college, and I have also have an experience as a data structures and algorithms mentor at an institute called Smart Interviews. It is an e-learning site where it makes the students learn DSA and helps them in cracking product business. So there I have handled a batch of over 100 students and helped them with all their queries, data structures and algorithms to crack that in. And coming to my education, I have graduated in 2022 from GRIT College, which is located in Hyderabad. So yeah, so I have a sound experience in DSA. So yeah, I'm really good at understanding the problems and how to make mentor students and make them learn data structures and algorithms and address their pain points and explain the concepts to them very clearly. So yeah, so before starting the session, I have a few queries. I just wanted to know the audience, what is your current experience? So most of, are you currently a student or a fresher who is just graduated or a working professional? Yeah, can you please answer these queries in the chat box itself? So based on that, I can go through the flow of the session. Third year, okay, students can see here. third year. Yeah, I'm expecting a bit of more responses. Yeah, can you please put them in the chat box? 6+ years in non-tech, okay. Third year, final year. Second year, fourth year. Yeah, cool. It's like, yeah, most of your college students are fresh graduates. Cool. And may I know what is your target company? Do you want to crack any product-based company or service-based company, or MANG, which stands for Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google? If you are not aware of 2021 password, Silicon Valley, Google, yeah, that's really good. If you can crack in San Francisco, MANG, product, Target, Visa, Mastercard, Atlassian, yeah, that's a really good company where work-life balance is primary over there. Yeah, so most of you guys want to crack in product-based companies. Yeah, that is a really good goal you're having. So, and I will be really helping you throughout the session on the strategies on how to get into your dream companies. Definitely. And may I know what is your preparation status currently? So, how are you preparing for DSA currently? How are you applying for the companies? Or if you have given any interviews, how did those interviews go? What did they ask? And where did you struggle the most during the interviews? Not getting responses from companies. May I know, Sakshi, not getting responses from companies, is it after applying on their job portal or sending mails to some of the recruiters? Okay, got it. Mails also. Yeah. Basic DSA applying on campus. Okay. Yeah, can anyone confirm that is it happening only for Naman, or is my voice really fluctuating? Not clear. Not clear. Just give me a minute. Let me connect my earphones. Can you confirm now? Can you hear my voice clearly? Yeah, cool. That's great. So yeah, most of you guys are saying that the problems I'm facing is during after applying, not getting any response from the recruiters or the companies. Okay, got it. What DSA just not rejected nearly 12 interviews. Akash, are you rejected in the interviews, or did your resume get shortlisted and you attended the interviews, or directly your resume didn't get shortlisted? Interview round. Okay. Okay. It's extend, but do not have any intention. Regularly giving contestant. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I hope I have covered all these topics during my presentation today. If any other topics you want to ask apart from this, you can. I will be opening a Q&A session at the end, so that you can ask queries if you have any other thing that which I will not be covering during the presentation today. Yeah, cool. So yeah, let's go. Let me establish how the flow of the session will be going today. So important points we'll be discussing today is why is it important to learn DSA. So many people think that DSA is just used to just as a entry barrier for companies. It will not be used anywhere in real life, or it is just used to crack the interviews, but not. There are many applications of DSA in real life which will be optimizing our life further. So it is really useful. And we'll also cover applications of DSA in real life where we'll be using. Why is DSA? So yeah, many people have asked me this question previously. Why most product-based companies only focus on DSA? Why not any other tech stack like Angular or front-end technology, interviews, or such things? Yeah, I will also be answering this question. And I will be also sharing a few tips and tricks on how to prepare for DSA and DSA interviews, how to answer a question in an interview, and what companies expect from a candidate to get hired into their organization or how to crack that interview. So apart from that, I will also share some tips on how I cracked my DSA interview, what was my preparation strategy, what helped me get my resume shortlisted, and how to apply. So why is it important to learn DSA? Let's answering to this question is, we use data structures and algorithms intentionally or unintentionally in our day-to-day life. Like, let's say if you have a bunch of papers ordered there in rule number wise, and someone asks you to pick a rule number 50th paper, so you will not be going in a sequential order, right? You will be picking some random paper. Like if it comes out to be 43, you know that the paper will be below 43, so you'll not be searching on the lot above, you'll be only searching in the lot below. So here, unintentionally or unknowingly, you are using binary search algorithm, if you are aware. Yeah, may I know how many of you are aware of the binary search algorithm? Yeah, cool. Yeah, if you know the binary search algorithm, yeah, cool. Then it's like you would have understood this example. Yeah, DSA also plays a huge role in implementing software where optimization is heavily required. Like in Facebook, let's say if you enter your username and password, you will be logged in within seconds. But in the back end, there will be a lot of processing going on where they need to validate your credentials over for 1 billion users. Like, right, over 1 billion users, it's like 100 crores. In 100 crores, if you go on sequentially looping over all the users, it takes a lot of time. Like it takes almost 10 to 15 minutes to validate your credentials and making the login. But it doesn't happen, right? Because it is because of optimization and reducing the time complexity of that, which is really helping you to log in within seconds. So yeah, and do you have any queries? May I know if you have any queries regarding particular to this slide? I can answer them right away. Yeah, so yeah, can you guys lower your hands now? So because yeah, I'm not sure if you're raising for this particular slide or yeah, cool. Thanks for lowering your hands. Yeah, let's go to the next slide. Why is it important to learn DSA? It is done, and applications of DSA in real life. So yeah, the applications of DSA in real life is really a very vast topic, and wherever you see there are multiple applications. You may not be using them directly, but in the underlying software which you are using, it will be using data structures and algorithms. Let's say you have opened a notepad or a WhatsApp or any text editor where you want to send a message or type any text. You go on typing, so it adds on the text on to the top of a stack. You know, every one of you know stack, right? It's a last in first out data structure. Yeah, how many of you know about stacks? Can you quickly raise your hands? Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great. So yeah, it's a last in first out data structure, right? So whatever you type, it will be going adding on top of the stack, and when you do an undo or a control Z, it will be popping out the last recent the text that you have added. So this undo operation internally uses stack. So that is really great, right? A real great application of DSA. And the second is queue. Queue, let's assume waiting list. You are booking a ticket in IRCTC portal. So queue works on the mechanism of first in, first out. So whoever comes in first will be going out first. So coming to this long waiting list, when you book a ticket in IRCTC, if your ticket goes into the waiting list, it will be pushed in, your PNR number will be pushed into a queue, and they will be popping out one by one. If there is any cancellation or if there is any seat availability, they will be giving that seat to the first person in the queue. And yeah, regarding linker list, browsers next time previous tabs, like you can whenever you open a browser at the top beside of the URL and refresh page, you can see where you can see backward and forward arrows, right? So this is the application of a W linker list, where if you click on the back button, it will be going into the previous page, and if you click on the next button, it will be going into the next page. So here the data is in linked list will be the data can be anything, right? It can be a number or anything. So when you click on the back button here, the data in the linked list in a node will be the previous URL. When you click on the previous URL, it will be redirected to the previous URL and the previous web page. And when you click on the forward URL, you will be going forwarded to the forward URL. So that is a real life application of linked list. And graphs is an absolute crazy topic which will be used in many ways. So all Google Maps, Swiggy, Uber, Ola, Zomato will be using a graph data structure to optimize the path or to find the nearest path to a particular destination. Whenever, even in Google Maps, when you choose a destination, when you want to go to a destination, it will be showing you multiple paths, right? But it will be highlighting the shortest path first, so you will be picking that one. That is a real life application of graph. And another real life application of graph is in social media. Like, let's consider you are using Facebook, and every user will be considered as an vertices, and all his friends will be connected through edges. Let's say I am a user and I am having 10 friends, so I will be an edge with my name. I will be having an edge, and all my friends I will be connected through edges. So it is really useful in identifying mutual friends. Algorithm is also based on BFS and DFS, where graphs come into the picture. Yeah. So yeah, may I know how many of you are aware of BFS and DSL algorithms of graphs? Yeah. Yeah, that's great. And yeah, coming to trees, subdirectories, directories, everything will be used using trees. Like if you open a folder, there will be another folder in that, and it will be going into another folder into that. So this is here it uses an application of an array tree. Yeah, these are the real life applications of DSA. Yeah, and please post your questions in the chat box if you have anything regarding this slide. Ashwin, yes, how much of DSA is enough? Sir, I find graph a bit. How can I understand graph problems? So yeah, I will be sharing this strategy at the end. Graph problems are really simple. Most of them are based on DFS and BFS, and some of the algorithms like Kruskal, Prem's algorithms. Once you get used to those algorithms, it will be really easier to understand the underlying problem of the given question and how to solve it. Yeah. Shiva Kumar, I will be answering. Can you please post your questions which are specific to this slide? I will be answering all those generic questions at the end. I'll be opening a Q&A session for that. Ashwin, just the theory part. Yeah, the theory part you will be knowing, but you will be needing a lot of practice to crack top PBCs, product-based companies regarding that. Yeah, for that you will be needing. Sir, it is easy to understand DSA, but coming to real, yeah, that's the thing. Practice is the only substitute for that. We can go through that. So, any specific language? Yeah, I will also be answering this question at the end. This is not specific to this slide, right? Yeah. Why is DSA asked? Why not any tech stack? Yeah, so many of you may ask me that why not they can interview me based on what I mentioned in my resume. Like if you are good at React, why can't they interview me on React? If you are good at a Python developer, if you're a Python developer previously, why can't they interview for a Python developer? So in most of the product-based companies, what happens is there is no particular tech stack that they will be using. It will be differing from team to team. Let's say in Amazon where I work, my team uses Java the most, and one of my friends' team uses Python, and one of my other friends' team uses TypeScript. So, and it happens with many other companies also, like Microsoft, everything, all other companies. So there is no generic medium for the companies to or organizations to judge a candidate based on their experience, right? Let's say you are good at React and I am interviewing you, and if I don't know React and if my company or organization in which I am working for is not using React, I cannot roll out and I cannot say that to you that I cannot hire you and you cannot come to my company or work in this company, right? So because learning, if you know Angular or any other language, once you know one language, learning another programming language will be really easy. So what most of the companies emphasize on is how efficient are you in solving the problem? How good are you in problem solving? how good are you in communicating. So they will never emphasize on the tech stack. Do you know this tech stack particularly, or do you don't know this tech stack? Because they will be seeing your problem solving and how you are communicating throughout the interviews. So because learning one language or learning one framework will not be a will not take a lot of time. What takes time is the thought process behind how to work and how to write a piece of code, and how to write an efficient piece of code is most important for most of the companies. So yeah, so to make a generic medium and to make a good judgment for all the candidates without any bias, they will be asking data structures and algorithms. And it also makes you a good problem solver, which will really help you in your work experience also, which I am experiencing now. And yeah, any specific questions regarding this slide of why only DSA, why not any other tech stack? Like, yeah, Saujanya, I'll be answering this question at the end. Please post questions. Can you please post questions if you have anything regarding this slide? I'll be opening a Q&A session at, after some time. You can go to that. Yeah. Cool. Cool. Thanks, Nash. Yeah, these are the list of data structures and algorithms topics that you need to prepare, or that are most frequently asked by various companies. So the queues, sets, maps. So sets or maps are internally implemented using trees, if you are not aware. So this is the interesting thing. Hashing is also internally implemented to trees. Binary search, which we have discussed today, and sorting, there are different types of sorts, and they will be having various time complexities, and a particular sorting algorithm may be efficient for a particular use case, but there is no hard rule that only one sorting algorithm works for all efficiently. And time and space complexity, this is the most important thing if you want to crack a data structures and algorithms interview. So for every solution you answer, you need to derive the time and space complexity, explain what is the time complexity. So basically time complexity is nothing but the amount of time that the program will be taking to execute. It is measured in amount of seconds or minutes. So let's say if a program takes 10 power 8 seconds to execute, and there is another efficient way to write the same program which takes 10 power 4 seconds. So you will be obviously choosing the most optimized one, which will be taking 10 power 4 seconds, right? So yeah, this is the importance of time and space complexity, which helps the interviewer and you also to understand why this algorithm is not a better performing algorithm and why another algorithm is a better performing algorithm. And it also helps you to make decisions and trade-off between two different algorithms on what algorithm to choose. And these are another list of topics. Hope you are aware of all of them. Yeah, graph, trees, binary search, tries. Tries is also another interesting concept. I guess most of you have got a situation when you type first three letters of a particular word. Let's say you type HEL, and automatically it auto suggests the word hello, right? HEL, after it will be suggesting auto word hello, and you will be just tapping on that and it will be coming. So internally this will be using a try data structure, which is also a really interesting data structure. Yeah, but that is not the scope of this session to explain about that. Yeah. Cool. And also dynamic programming, recursion. So yeah, these are the list of topics which you mentioned, and but you need to learn these topics in a particular chronology, because let me explain an example. Without knowing recursion or backtracking, you will not be able to solve dynamic programming problems. Yeah, so there should be a particular chronology and a strategy on how to learn all these topics also. Yeah, any questions regarding these data structures and algorithms topics that I can answer now itself? So importance on sorting algorithms for Mang interviews. So yeah, there are no such things as just as I mentioned, right? So for one question, one sorting algorithm might be efficient but for another question, another sorting algorithm might be more efficient. But most of the times, you will be encountering the mud sort and quick sort algorithms for sorting because those are the most optimized one with n log and time complexity. Yeah. Best source to learn this all, yeah, I can share at the end of the session. Chronology also we can discuss at the end of the session because there are a lot of topics. Correct sequence, yeah, sure, I can answer. So because ordering them now is not in the scope of the session because it takes a lot of time to explain why to learn a particular topic at a particular time and why to learn at a particular topic at another time. Radix sort and bucket sort, yeah, they are also a kind of important algorithms, but yeah, you can ignore them for now. But when you get aware of all other sorting algorithms and when you are good with all other DSA topics mentioned in this slide, you can put some additional effort learning in radix sort and bucket sort also. Yeah. Anupam, hope I answered your question. Yeah. Yeah, I see a few folks are raising their hands. Do you have any questions? You can unmute and ask if you have any. Or you can also feel free to post it in the chat. Cool. Cool. Yeah, we can also go to divide and conquer. Divide and conquer by right? Mansard uses divide and conquer strategy. So yeah, most of the algorithms use different strategies, and some of the data structures use different algorithms. So they all go hand in hand while learning. Yeah. So how to prepare for a DSA interview? So before, how to prepare for a DSA interview? So this is a vast topic. How to prepare for a DSA interview? Before preparing for an interview, you need to prepare DSA, right? So you need to choose a list of topics that you want to prepare. What most of the companies focus on. Take a list of those topics, order them, prepare topic one by one, and solve some of the questions on each topic. Like go through all the topics in the same way. So solve some of the questions. I mean by what I mean by that is take a particular topic, solve, learn about the topic, learn the theory about the topic, and what does the topic mean, or what does that particular data structure mean, how does data structure work, or how that a particular algorithm works, and go to some of the standard questions of the problem. By standard questions, what I mean is, so every topic will have some standard questions. Consider stack. So the most important application or the most standard question of stack is conversion of infix to postfix or infix to prefix expressions. Yeah, may I know how many of you are aware of that stack? Infix to postfix conversion will be using stack. Yeah, this will be present in your data structures and algorithms lab. I hope that was present for me too. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So assuming that you are aware and you have a good sound scope over DSA and you are able to answer all the standard questions, and you have also solved a good amount of problems on any platform like HackerRank, Codeset, Codeset, or LeetCode. Not they can't say any platform is important or unimportant. You can work on a platform that works for you. And let's say you have a scheduled interview for DSA for a particular topic or for a particular company, sorry. So there are some of the specific topics for each companies which they allow to pose questions on. So let's say for Amazon, they love asking questions on trees and linked lists. I myself, in during my 2 interviews, I have faced 3 questions from trees and linked lists. Yeah, so they'll be loving to ask. So there are, you can go through the list of companies and company specific questions. You can find it in any platforms like GFG or LeetCode. What are the company specific questions they will be asking, and you can filter out and understand what these companies mostly focus on, or what data structures or algorithms that these companies mostly focus on. So you can, while preparing for that particular company's interview, you can mostly focus on those problems. And you can also, but you should also go through all the other data structures, all the algorithms also, but just focus a bit more and understand how they are posing questions on some particular topics, and how to have a go through all of the basic concepts like time complexities and space complexities, or basic sorting, because sometimes they might not ask you a particular data structure and algorithms question, but you in what happens in why while preparing for DSA is most of the people forget basics. So because let's say there's a question based on sorting, and pick the greatest element in an array, or pick the 5 greatest elements in an array. So to solve that question, what you need is you will be sorting the array and pick the greatest elements. You will be picking the last 5 elements in the array. If the question is pick the 5 greatest elements in the array. So while solving this question, most of the people will be writing the code in such a way that they will be using inbuilt sort algorithm, like sort of array start to array end. So sometimes the interviewer focuses and asks, implement your own sorting algorithm, like write the sorting algorithm code which you want to use. Like if you want to write merge sort code, write a function for merge sort, how it works. Or if you want to use a quick sort, write a function for quick sort and how it works. So have a having a go through of all the basic concepts is also really super important, because sometimes they might be posing questions on a specific topic or some of the basic implementations also. So which we'll be forgetting because we'll not be looking at them for so many days, right? We'll be always be using inbuilt sorting algorithms like sort of array start to array end, and you'll be forgetting how internally it works, and that becomes quite an issue. And if you fail to implement a basic sorting algorithm, then that's done for an interview, because if you are not able to solve sorting algorithm code, then it really becomes a problem for you. And time complexities and space complexities, you need to derive and explain to the interviewer why this is the time complexity of the solution, and the space complexity, how much space does your program use. Does your program declare an array and store something in that array? So that becomes the space complexity of this program, or this a particular code snippet. Yeah. So this is a strategy on how to prepare for a DSA interview. Yeah, you can post any specific questions that you have on how to prepare for a DSA interview in the chat box. I'll be happy to answer them. Which programming language is good? Yeah, so there is no hard rule that a company wants you to answer in a specific programming language. So in my opinion, both C++ and Java are good. I am telling this because coming to Python, I have also personally used Python, but in most of the programs you will be getting TLA, because the runtime of Python is a lot slower compared to C++ and Java. C++ has a faster runtime, and Java is middle in between C++ and Python. I have mostly used C++. Yeah, but I recommend Java because more learning Java initially will be a bit quite complex due to the class and object structures. But once you get through it, it will be really helpful for you, as it is a object-oriented programming language, which will be used in most of the companies. So I hope I answered your question, Sivan. Is it mandatory in interviews to describe the time and space complexity of every question that will be asked? Yeah, it is mandatory. Most of the times interviewers will be asking themselves, but even though if they don't ask, explaining the deriving the time and space complexity of the question will be giving you an extra edge of how aware of you or the solution that you are explaining, and they will be quite impressed with that. Shahid, I have rejected many times from Amazon, but I don't know when I clear ORM. I'm not clear with your question. Can we explain that? So did you clear the OA round, or did you not clear the OA round, online assessment round? So you cleared the OA round. You have given the DSA interview. Okay. Yeah. So okay. Yeah. What do you think you have missed the most then in those interviews? Meanwhile, I can take South Indians. Will it affect our chance of getting into the organization if we use C++ instead of Java? It will not affect your chances of getting into the organization in any way. No one judges you based on the programming language you use or any tech stack that you are using. They only focus on the ability of your problem solving and how efficiently are you solving the problem. After clear round, they send message for rejection. Shahid, can you please unmute? And I'm pretty unclear with your question. After clearing round, mean which OA round or the interview round? If you clear the interview round, why did they send the message of rejection? Yeah, Shahid. Yeah, you can ask your question at the end. Yeah, then just go through. And yeah, how to answer a DSA question in an interview. This is also a super important concept which I'll be explaining today. Because let's say you know the most optimized solution for a given particular question which you have already solved before. But that is not the right way, because that will not help the interviewer to assess your thought process on how you are building. Uh, so if you know a question beforehand which the interviewer asked, so even though then also you need to build the solution from brute force to optimized approach. So if you think you will be you don't want to do that, you can directly say it in the forward to the interviewer itself that I have solved this question before. So what is brute force? So brute force is an algorithmic technique which is the most raw solution, or which is not the optimized solution for a problem which takes. So basically the solution whose time complexity and space complexity is a lot more than the optimized solution. So sorry for interruption. Just give me a minute. Someone is at the door, please. Yeah, sorry once again for the interruption. Yeah, Ashton, did I answer your question? Did you understand what a brute force solution means? Akash, coming to your question, should we have to explain brute force approach for every problem in interview? Yeah, right. You need to explain the brute force approach. So if the interviewer himself wants not to think in that way, he will stop you right in between or right in front, saying that this is the brute force approach. So I don't want to focus on this approach. Can you please go to the optimized approach directly? So it's your duty to explain brute force solution. If the interviewer doesn't need it, he stops you directly. Is system design important for a fresher? Most of the times, no. But once you gain a 1 to 1.5 years of experience, it is also important. Not a high level design, but they will be asking you low level design on design patterns and all those things. Yeah. Cool. Well, let me go to the next slide. So yeah, what companies expect from a candidate? So they don't expect any particular tech stack from you or any particular language that they want you to use. So they only focus on how good at problem solving you are, how good at communicating the thought process which is in your mind to the interviewer, so that they will be understanding you and your thought process, and they will be making the hiring decision based on that. And also someone who can write a quality code, because let's say you want to calculate the number of balls in a box or based on some mathematical logic or such thing. And if you name your variable as answer or n, it will be not a good convention of writing code, because a variable name should convey what it is storing. Like, let's say if you are using a variable name as a number of balls stored in the box, so that makes clear sense, and that helps interviewer to think that you are also writing a good quality code and efficient code. Yeah. Uh, Previous section, which section asking how to answer a DSA question in an interview? Yeah, please take this. I have navigated. So expect from a candidate, this is done. So I have learned Python. As per your session, do I need to master Java or C++ in order to crack DSA based question in Enter? So yeah, Avinash, Python is also good. There is no hard rule that a company doesn't want you to use Python. But I just wanted to explain the pain point with Python. So in an interview, it's fine answering in Python, because they will not be running your code through a lot of big inputs, like with an array size of which contains an 10 power 8 elements or such elements. In interview, it goes off good, but in online assessment round, where there are strict constraints on the problem and you need to solve the problem within a given time limit, or the program should be passing within the given time limits for all the test cases, that becomes an issue, because the runtime of Python is slower. That might affect, but there are, I have seen some companies provide different runtimes for different languages. But I cannot assure you that every online assessment that you go through will be provided as different runtimes for different languages. I just not want to scare you regarding this, but I just wanted to explain the pain points of those things. That's it. Yeah. How to effortlessly know which algorithm is required to solve the question? Practice only. With practice, you'll be knowing. Yeah, and coming to the most important topic, resume building. So, assuming you want to crack a job off campus or something, the resume is the only thing that a person sees you and makes a decision on to proceed with you for the further rounds or not, or to reject your application. So a resume building is an important thing. It should be ATS friendly resume, because ATS means that application tracking software. So most of the companies like these tech gains like Amazon, Microsoft, Google will be getting lakhs of applications for a particular role. So they want the HR will not also have time to go through each of the application manually and shortlist. So they will be using application tracking software. So which your resume runs through the software, and based on the quality of your resume, it judges you that to proceed with you for the further rounds or not. So let's say for a software development role, the software development lifecycle methodologies, all those are important. So the software is fed with a particular keywords which it searches in your resume. So if those keywords are present in your resume, it will automatically shortlist your resume for the next rounds. So that is super important. And also the structure of your resume is also super important. Let's say you have all the strings that wanted by the ATS in your resume, but if your resume is unparsable or is unreadable by the ATS, then it also becomes a problem. So you need to make sure that your resume is ATS friendly. And other points, if you're writing your resume for a technical role, make sure your resume is also technical. There are no other points like don't add any other points like in achievement section or such things. I have won in spoon and marble race during my school. Those are not achievements regarding for technicality in technical world, right? So that is not good and doesn't look good adding it in the resume. Discuss your projects, your work or internship experience. Definitely. So an ideal resume should contain all these sections like work experience, education, projects that you have implemented, and the technical skills that you have, and achievements which you have achieved in technical world. So all these should be mentioned. These are the structure or the pointers that should be containing in an ideal resume for a fresher. And so, assuming most of your third year or fourth year students, you will be not be having an ideal work experience. So you should be mostly focusing on projects, more on the project section more, because that will be becoming your real time experience that which they will be considering. So coming to projects, don't ever put a project which you have not done or which you are not aware on the resume, because the interviewer will definitely assume that the project is done by you or a team which includes you, and you have solved a real life problem. So if you should be definitely in a position to answer those questions posed by the interviewer if you are have put a particular project on your resume with a particular tech stack. So if you are not able to answer about the things which are mentioned in your resume, because your resume is built by yourself and you are showing it to the interviewer that have done these things and have expertise in these things, and if you are unable to answer those questions also, then it will be a really not good experience for the interviewer and yourself also. And another thing is, never ever lie on your resume that your ratings are this much on some stored platform if you are not having those ratings, and if you have not done any projects, putting them as the projects that are done by you. Yeah. Any other questions regarding resume building? Yeah, structure of resume. Yeah, I have mentioned some of the ideal code pointers, right? Those sections, every resume should be containing for a fresher. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, I'm taking it as a resume building do's. When writing about your experience, focus on highlighting your impact and the technology work done. So this is super important, even for the projects or if you have work experience. So what highlights in your resume is the numbers or the metrics. So let's say if you have optimized an algorithm, how much time did you reduce? Let's say you have write an optimized algorithm. In the resume, you mentioned that I have written. Don't write it simply in the way that I have written an optimization algorithm for a particular machine learning problem or a use case. You mention it in a way that I have written I have optimized an algorithm which reduced the runtime of a particular use case from 2 hours to 10 minutes. So this metrics will help the interviewer understand that how good are you at and how much problem have you solved. So this is really important. Let's say if you are working in have a previous work experience at a particular company. So if you have helped them for cost cutting. So let's say have reduced the cost cutting for my particular team from $1 million to 10 lakhs. Sorry, $1 million to 10 lakhs or such thing. Yeah. So mention the optimization or the amount of work you done in numbers. So numbers attract the eyes easily more than the explanation do. So it is really super important. In your project, describe what you did and the technology used. So every project will be using some particular tech stack, right? So what tech stack you used, and and also make sure that you will be able to answer why did you use that tech stack only, why not any other tech stack. So you should also be able to answer those questions also, and only add relevant projects to your resume. And if that's which I have explained earlier, don't add projects which are not done by you. Yeah, you can also add the courses certifications which you have done, certifications in the achievement sections which you have done. Yeah, but which I also mentioned earlier, write the things only which you are confident about, that you can answer when you are asked in an interview. Highlight important keywords. Highlighting is really important, because when someone sees your resume, their eyes go directly over there. And if you put some metrics in those highlighted, like I have some 1800 rating in code chef or code forces searching, so it becomes pretty impressive, and it's easy for the interviewer or also for the ATS to shortlist. Yeah. if possible, add links to your projects. And yeah, add links to your projects if you have deployed them on a separate web page or such things. And also don't forget to add links to your social profiles, such as, I mean, not social profiles, which I mean like Instagram or such things. Add your links to your LinkedIn profiles or Codeforce's lead code profiles if you have mentioned that you have a good amount of rating in that, so that the interviewer will be confident that if you have mentioned the link, it is really true that you have that amount of rating, and it builds trust on the interviewer also. Yeah, resume building, don't write unnecessary stuff in your resume. Like so, don't use a bullet point that I'm a perseverant student who is trying to solve real life problems if given a chance and all those things. Make sure your resume is concise, efficient, and ATS friendly, which attracts the eyes of the interviewer or the person who goes through your resume directly. And by giving a single glance, they should be able to understand what are all the things in your resume. There is also no requirement of a photograph or your home address or your mobile number. You can put mobile number is optional. You can put mobile number but you should definitely mention your email ID, because every company will be contacting you through the mail ID itself. Don't lie on resume. Yeah, interpersonal skills in some of your part. Yeah, that I have mentioned, right? There's no need of you mentioning about winning in a cricket competition in a technical resume. That's it. These are the resume don'ts. Yeah, how to be ready for your interview? Yeah, start with basic coding and learn some basic concepts of DSA. Go through them one by one. Solve some of the standard questions of a particular topic. Then move on to medium questions. Move on to topics which are dependent on the previous topic. Like if you have learned recursion, then you can learn dynamic programming, because dynamic programming will be dependent on recursion, right? Yeah, so that's important. And do some random questions. This is super important, because when you learn a particular data structure and algorithm, you will be filtering questions based on the data structure and algorithm. Let's say you have learned a trees topic, so you will be filtering questions and trees, and you will be picking the question, and you will be already knowing that this question will be solved using tree or something like. Or if you learned about binary search, you will be picking the question, and beforehand, before seeing the question itself, you know that this question will be solved using binary search. So doing random questions will, because in an interview they will not be telling you which algorithm to use on a particular question, right? You need to understand after reading the problem statement that this question is binary search algorithm. So doing random question helps you build your thought process on what parameters a algorithm should be used for a particular question. So that is why doing random questions is very important. Do some mock interviews with an industry expert. Yeah, so this is super important because doing mock interviews with industry experts who are already placed in such companies, or who will be there will also be some people who will be taking interviews. If you do your interview with them, it will be really super helpful for you in building, and they will be also be giving you an end-to-end feedback, which you can implement within yourself, so that you will not be repeating those mistakes in the next interview or an actual interview. Yeah, how to apply for interviews? So one thing is building your network on LinkedIn is super important, because once you have people from all the companies or all the organizations on your LinkedIn network, it will be, if you are already connected to them, you can they are a single message away, right? You can text them directly asking for a referral, and asking for referral should also be in a concise manner, explaining why you are suitable for the role, what are the why they should be only referring you, why not any other people. Don't send a random message like, hi, can you refer me? So that is will not be good on your part, and it will be a bit weird for the opposite person too. So, and also asking for reference is super important, because once a person refers you, it will be easy. It will be, because you will be prioritized over other persons who will be directly applying through the company portal, because some person has referred you means that he said to the company that you know him personally, and he's a good problem solver. Please have a look at his resume, his or her resume. So that will be shortlisting. And have a frequent visit to career pages of your company. So if you are unable to get a referral, and if you need to, every company that you dream of will be having a career page, definitely, where there will be a list of jobs that are currently open, their locations, and what are their the jobs, roles, and responsibilities. You can definitely go through that. And some of the career pages will also be having notifications, enabling notifications. So let's say if you want a specific role like a software engineer in Microsoft, if you go to Microsoft career page and open software engineer, if there are no any other roles, if there are no software engineer roles, or there are some roles but not in your desired location, you can enable notifications saying that I want when a software engineer role in Hyderabad or in Chennai or in Delhi opens up, please send me a notification on my email. So if you enable that, whenever there is an opening, you will be getting notified, and you can be the first. You can be in first few persons who will be applying for that role. That is also super important. Yeah, coming to how I crack my yeah. Before going to that, yeah, do you have any specific questions on how to get ready for an interview and how to apply for an interview? Please post them in the chat box. I can answer them. It's clear. Cool. Yeah, I'm taking this as well. And coming to yeah, how I cracked my Amazon interview. So in my Amazon interview, I have given my interview from an Amazon internship. So there were only 2 rounds of interviews. So based on my internship experience and based on how I performed during my internship, I was given a full-time offer. So if you give for internship, you will be also be having 2 rounds of interviews and 1 written test. Else you will be having 1 written test and 3 rounds of interview if you are directly being hired for a full-time role. So by the time I have had my interview scheduled, I was well prepared with DSA. I have solved quite a good number of problems on various platforms. So I was aware of what all the topics meant and how to answer those questions. So it helped me crack the interview at Amazon. And yeah, practice. There is no other substitute for practice, because uh, only practice will help you to understand the problems. Will help you understand the problems, will help you to understand what data structure or algorithm to use, will help. The more number of problems you solve, the more better thought process you will be having, and the more number of problems you will solve, so each problem is linked to some or the other problem in some way. So the more number of problems you will be solved, the more amount of links you can get to the previous problems that you have solved, which will be helping you to solve the current problem by applying the same thing to the same problem which you have used previously. Yeah, just let me answer Manikandan. Hi, if I have 2 years of experience of supporting role in project and I want to switch to development role, what are the things that has to be expected from me? So if it's a top product-based company, they will be asking you data structures and algorithms and a bit of system design, which I have mentioned, like low-level design, like design patterns and all those things. How can one convert internship to full time? So it is different from company to company. In my company, it was based on performance. If you perform well and if you have delivered the project that you are assigned, then you will be converted to full time. And yeah, it differs from company to company. Yeah, any other questions on this? How did you get with the yeah, regarding the internship offer, so it was an on-campus for me. So I have applied through the portal, and I have get shortlisted. So before applying to that, yeah, I have got another offer also. So I have to choose one between them. Should we learn any extra skills like web development for interview? So there is no hard rule that you need to learn web development or you need to learn app development, whatever. For these generic roles like in top companies. So for other startups, it might be required that they may be mentioning in the job description itself that you will be specifically requiring web development roles. So in that case, you need to be prepared with web development. So before applying to any role, you need to get through the job description once, and you need to understand what they are expecting from this role. For most of the software engineer roles in top companies, they will never ask you for a particular tech stack or a particular language. There will be generic like software engineer roles or software development engineer roles where they will be expecting you to solve these DSA problems. Hi Shiv, how much package can we expect for SG2? So it varies from company to company. The base pay will be around 35 to 40 lakhs for an SG2. And based on the amount of experience you also have, it differs. Some few tips for building own projects. So for building own projects, you need to have an interest or you need to choose a particular tech stack. So if you want to build a web development project, you need to make a decision based on what tech stack to use. If you want to use React or Angular. So once you make the decision, learn a few things about that framework or a language, and then you can start building in any interesting project on that. But at first, you need to choose a particular language or framework which you are interested in to build a project. During interviews, can we change language? Suppose I can solve an array question using Python, but for free I want to use. Yeah, you are free to use. They never keep a constraint on that. Yeah, but it sounds a bit weird for the interviewer also if you switch between languages. But there is no hard rule anywhere mentioned that you need to choose different languages or you need to code it in a single language only. How do we know we are ready in terms of coding? So if you are able to solve a good number of by giving contests, you will be able to understand are you able to apply the things which you have learned previously. So let's say you have solved 10 questions on sorting and you are giving contest on lead code or CodeChef. There is you face a question on sorting algorithm, and if you are able to solve this question, you know that you are good at sorting and you have a good understanding to solve the questions. But if you are not able to solve the question and if you are not able to apply the sorting to this question which you have already learned previously, then you are not ready. You can make a judgment based on that, but there are differences. I'm having problem with algorithms. How to crack the question is that Nuraini you will be getting with definitely you will need to get a lot of practice on that. There is no other shortcut to that. What do you think are important things to know other than DSA for interview? Like, yeah, communication is the most important thing. Even so, if without communication, even though you know the solution, and if you are not able to convey it to the interviewer clearly, it really becomes a problem. And coming to other technical skills like DBMS operating systems will be super important, and OOPS like object-oriented programming will also be super important. Yeah, just one more slide. I will be opening for Q&A, then I can answer all your questions. So yeah, how can I help you crack your interview? So I will help you with the detailed structure of what topics to learn and the chronology also topics. And I can also help you clarifying all your queries related to technical subjects and roles, OOPS, DBMS, and any other things. I can help you. I can give you a good roadmap on how to crack a software engineering role at your dream company. And I will also help you taking mock interviews. I will also review your resume before you submit to any other company's portal, or I can also take mock interviews to know that if you are ready or not. And I'll also provide various interview preparation tips and tricks. So yeah, this is me signing off. If you want to get all these things with you, you can sign up for my mentorship on Replaced. So for the first few folks, there are free trial sessions. You can book a free trial session with me, and based on that, you can move to take mentorship with me. Yeah. So Anushka will be sharing the link to connect with me on Replaced. Yeah, it is put it in the chat box. Yeah. Please connect with me or Replaced to talk about all. If you have any other queries on how to solve on what particular roadmap that one needs to follow to crack a top product-based companies and all other technical aspects or technical things. Yeah, now we can go for an open Q&A session where I will be answering all your queries. LinkedIn profile, yeah, just let me put my LinkedIn profile. You can put your, yeah, Shahid coming to the price, I have to configure it that way because I need, even through my fully jam-packed day, I need to give my time for mentoring and all those things. Yeah, generally my days will be jam-packed with work itself. So yeah, that is the reason. And I also want the mentees to be really focused. If you pay that much amount, you will be really be focused to learn things. Yeah, yeah, you can sign up for a trial session. Over there, we can discuss, and if you like on how I have approached the way you want, you can take up the mentorship. Yeah, any other specific questions regarding on strategies to crack DSA? If we practice, Sanjida, if we practice on daily basis, how much time would it take to master DSA? So it easily takes about 6 months, 3 months of learning and 3 months of self practice on all other topics to get a good understanding of all the topics and to crack interviews at top product based companies. How to crack Amazon for biotechnology students? So assuming that you are not aware of core CS fundamentals, it will you need to pick a programming language first. You need to learn the basics of how loops work and all those things. Post that, you can start learning data structures, algorithms, and other computer science topics such as DBMS, operating systems, and loops. Gaurav. So yeah, hope I have answered your question, Gaurav. How's your experience regarding placement? Yeah, it was pretty good, Saujanya. I like the organization and coordination for placements and training. If a person wants to join cyber security domain, does he need DSA for interview? So yeah, as I have said, every company has a different criteria. You need to go through the job description of the company first. If the job description particularly mention that if anywhere it mentions that you need to be solving complex problems including data structures and algorithms, then you need to know that. Else you can put it as an optional, and they'll be mostly asking on cybersecurity domain. But to code, you need to know DS data structures and algorithms because with the help, because everywhere in software, if you go, you need to code, right? So this learning data structures and algorithms will definitely help you on how to write an efficient code. So which helps you to crack interviews. Any other questions?
Hi, Shivasai. So I think so most of the questions are covered in the session. So we can end the session here. And if anybody has any other sort of doubts or questions, they can directly reach out to Shivasai through the link shared in the comment chat section. Apart from that, like we will be sharing the entire recording of the session on your email ID. So you can directly get it through the session recording through the email. And thank you so much for joining.
Sorry, I have my voice on mute. Yeah, Anushka, can you go again?
Pardon?
Yeah, You were saying something, right? Can you go?
Yeah, I think so. We can end the session here. Most of the questions are covered, and we will also be sharing the recording of the session on the email IDs. And yeah, if anybody wants to connect with Shivasai, they can directly reach out to him on the link shared in the chat box.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, thank you so much, Shivasai, for taking such a wonderful session. Have a good day.
Yeah. Have a good day to all of you. Have a good weekend. Thank you.